Hello, and welcome back to our Henchman story. In the last episode, we began our performance review, and I can't tell if we're doing good or bad or not because Madame Scorpion is not happy about our sass. She's happy about our delay time, but not how it ended on the operation of Wednesday. Mainly, there's nothing much else to describe it, but it's very good for making the atmosphere full of tension. So we'll see how this ends currently. Anyway.
It also didn't help that my thrusters weren't exactly at full capacity by that point.
I think that just means energy for the context of the avoiding projectiles, I think, is the correct, is what this topic was about.
Then it was quite the blunder, wasn't it? If you weren't feeling up to another round with Shining Nova, you should have found an alternative.
Isn't that what we were trying?
Like what? Nova didn't seem too receptive to small talk.
Like the hostages, Stanley. Why do you think I brought them up?
Because they were there.
Next time, take advantage of your surroundings. Hostages are a tool to be used, and an effective one.
I guess we'll have to take your word for it.
Understand this. You will be at a severe disadvantage against any foe you encounter. You must utilize every tool you can and show no mercy in order to succeed.
Okay.
Use all the tools, hold the mercy. I'm on it, boss.
For a moment, Madame Scorpion just stares at me. It takes all my concentration not to break eye contact. Somehow, I think she knows I'm full of lies, regardless.
See that you are. It's for your own safety. We wouldn't want anything unfortunate happening to you out there, would we?
Well, I wouldn't. You don't care. Well, you might care, because apparently, according to you, we are on an investment.
And we certainly wouldn't want to demonstrate what happens to subordinates that fail to learn from their mistakes.
Uh-huh.
Now then, I think we've seen enough of this, haven't we?
Does that mean we're done? She finally turns off the hologram. Thank freaking God. This is the first time I've watched myself get humiliated by a superhero. And I have to say, I could live without the experience.
So, Stanley, after reviewing the footage, would you say this is a normal operation for you?
Oh, we knew that on the same day.
No, definitely more exciting.
And after our review, would you say that you performed better or worse than your peers in this scenario?
On par, if not worse, probably. Well, you're going to say worse. I feel like it's better personally, but the safest answer is on par.
Well, better, but...
And how were you compensated for this operation compared to normal? How about compared to your peers?
The same as normal?
I'll answer for you. The same on both counts. But that's how it works, isn't it? You're paid a salary, and that doesn't change when things are harder or your performance is better.
Are you here to recruit me against Lord Bedlam?
No. You can't earn more without a review, like this one, and they don't come often. But dear Stanley, what if I told you that you can?
This lady is trying to steal us from Lord Bedlam. Dave's going to be so betrayed.
You mean Henchman?
Exactly. I admit, I wasn't entirely sold on the name until we focus tested it with a few slogans. But it really works, doesn't it?
No, not really. I still think it's a stupid name.
I guess so. Where are you going with this?
I'm getting to that, Stanley. But first, why don't we turn this discussion inward? What drives you, Stanley?
It said not to do the clock in, clock out.
What do you mean?
I mean that as a henchman for Lord Bedlam, who or what do you serve before all else?
No one. We don't have a servant. We don't have a calling. Myself, I guess. 'Cause I am admittedly selfish. Madame Scorpion's already proven that she's not particularly susceptible to nonsense, so I guess I may as well just be honest.
To tell the truth, I'm looking out for myself. Not that I won't do my job or anything, but at the end of the day, I've got to take care of things for me. That's just how it is.
I don't get an immediate response. Instead, Scorpion takes a moment to study me, as if looking over for the first time. Jeez, the stare is unnerving.
Correct. Well said, Stanley.
That's unfortunate, I think.
I wasn't aware this was a question you could get right or wrong.
Of course it is. It's simply a matter of being honest with yourself. No matter what you had said, your actions would already have spoken for you.
Okay, makes sense.
During your everyday tasks, you trend right inside the average by every available metric. You do not perform better or worse than any of your fellow henchmen. You are perfectly commonplace.
Thank you? Is this a compliment? Unless you...
But when you are personally at risk during operations, you are suddenly head and shoulders above the pack, despite having no powers or exceptional athletic background.
Okay, so that's definitely a compliment. That's definitely a thank you.
In other words, Stanley, you are performing at the optimal level for your own self-interests. You have found exactly how to do your job and collect your paycheck with as little pain and effort as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't really deny it, but that's just how you treat a job, isn't it? You clock in, you do what you have to do, and you clock out.
Kate, Kate told us not to say this.
I suppose many do. But this is something that extends well beyond one's occupation. Why should you try to perform any better when you have no incentive to do so? Should you throw yourself at superheroes based on the distant dream of a promotion? Of course not.
I'm confused because you are definitely treating this like a sort of like a sales pitch, I guess, but it's also in the sense of this.
No. You have learned that the optimal path forward within this system is to intentionally perform below your potential. So that's what you do. And make no mistake, you have potential, Stanley.
Are you trying to get us to use that potential? Madam Scorpion pauses to examine me once again. This time she leans closer. I try to fail, not to flinch.
All you
try and
need to
fail.
bring it out is a system that rewards you appropriately. And this, Stanley, is what I have been getting at. Henchman is that system.
So you are really just recruiting me for your own purposes.
With Henchman, you would be rewarded based on the work you do. If you accept more gigs or more difficult ones, then you earn more. If you perform better on a gig, you earn more. It's simple. Take Wednesday's operation, for example. You would have been paid better than your peers for that, and certainly better than your supervisor.
Right. I know Dave is a lot to handle, but is there a need to insult Dave? Dave's decent. He tries. But yeah, I just like Stan, I do not know what to say. She's uncomfortably close now. I can't lean further back without tipping out of my chair. And for whatever reason, I can't bring myself to break eye contact. You ever looked at the edge of a cliff and just had that weird urge to jump, even though you know it would kill you? Looking at Madame Scorpion's eyes is like looking down a cliff. I think it's called, I feel like that's actually legitimately called the fall of the void. It's just that the brain tells you just to jump or do something.
How would that make you feel?
Good, I guess. But, I work for Lord Bedlam.
And? He employs you, but should he own you? Your days could be his, and your nights.
Really? She leans closer and places her hand on my shoulder. I feel myself go rigid.
Could be mine.
But then we'd get no rest, we wouldn't sleep.
You mean Henchcans, right? Your program?
No, she does not.
Why, of course, Stanley. That's what we've been talking about this whole time.
No, it's not.
You're exactly the kind of candidate we need. You'd be just perfect for it.
No thank you. Before my brain can reboot and offer a response, the scorpion removes her hand and turns back to her desk. Only now she's like, oh, do I realize how sore my shoulder feels?
And as it happens, I know of a gig tonight that would be an excellent trial run. You should sign up.
Should we? Can't, game night. I need more information first. Sure, why not? Information, please. Why not saying yes or no?
Sorry, but I need a little more information before I could commit to a program like that. I mean, you make a persuasive argument, but...
No further explanation necessary, Stanley. The only right decision is an informed one. What do you think is on all these screens?
Maps, statistics. She gestures to a screen that lines the walls of her office, displaying a litany of maps, charts, and spreadsheets.
Information. Data. Without these things, on what grounds can someone make a decision? Intuition? Instinct? Why, that's no better than a dog.
Yeah, but sometimes instinct is all we need.
Though I think you'll find the gig itself to be quite enlightening. Think of it as a scouting mission of sorts.
That makes sense. I'll think about it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying I'll think about it and not giving a yes or no. I'll have to think about it how to handle tonight's SNS session. It's game night after all, and I already invited Kate. Which was, of course, after Dave invited himself. Crap. I still haven't given the rest of the party the news. Maybe the easiest way to avoid any kind of mess is to take this gig after all.
Very well. In the meantime, I suggest you download our Henchman app. You'll find more detailed information there.
I do not trust it.
You'll find a QR code on the bulletin boards in the break rooms or at the entrance of the cafeteria. Tonight's gig should be immediately available to you.
No, thank you.
Take a few hours to collect some more information and think it over. But not too long. You'd hate to disappoint me.
Well, unfortunately that's exactly what we're gonna do. But we're not gonna tell you that.
I'm sure I would.
Oh, no, that wasn't a question. You'd really hate it from the bottom of your heart. I'd make certain of it.
No thanks.
Then, dear Stanley, you'd see where I have my other meetings.
Oh yeah.
You mean the ones where people are in trouble?
Precisely.
Yes, the ones in public.
That is all, number 065. You are dismissed.
Okay.
Right. Got it. Thanks.
And Dave's is tomorrow. By the time I've stood from my seat, stood to my feet, got them both mixed up. Madam Scorpion is behind a desk. Her attention turns to something else entirely. So I silently head to the door and step outside as quickly as I can without seeming like I'm in a panic. That's the goal. Not sure if it worked. Probably didn't. It's not until I've rounded the first corner that I finally let myself sigh in relief. Thank God that's over. I feel like I just went through an emotional spin cycle. Still, I didn't do so bad considering I was being interviewed by possibly psychotic tyrant / tech Mongol. Is that what dealing with a bona fide, genuine article supervillain is like? Do you spend every second wondering if you're going to be eviscerated? Okay, not every second. Scorpion's a total smoke show, and probably it has, if you've got it, flaunt it, engraved in a plaque somewhere. Can you blame me for taking my mind off my own murder for a moment? Then again, I'm pretty sure female scorpions kill their mates. So maybe that was also my murder. Goddamn, nature ruins everything. Is that going to be a quote? I think that might be the title. I take my time heading to my post for the day, and it's only when I get halfway there that I realize the craziest thing about that woman. Despite my fears of being dismembered, weirdly enough, it seems that we were speaking candidly towards the end there. I feel like that should mean something. I'm just not sure what. You're looking too far into it. My first shift passes by quickly. Today my squad was working in the warehouse, which is like the opposite of the god duty. I'm less likely to be bored out of my mind, but my body can't stand putting in actual effort. Luckily, I don't think Dave knows how to read our inventory system, so I just need to look like I'm working hard. The key is to let him see me lift a few things early, and then stay out of sight as much as possible. All that time and energy I've put into avoiding work has given me quite the appetite, and by the time we headed to the cafeteria, I'm absolutely starving. But Chef Antonio's here, right?
Ah, shit.
Yeah, what's wrong, buddy?
I forgot that Chef Antonio and I are at war.
Thank you for accompanying us, Dave.
Metaphorically, I mean. Don't worry, it's not actual war.
Oh, good. I was about to say.
I know you were, Dave. Anyway, I think I'm just going to skip the line and get a table.
So, would that be a metaphorical retreat?
Yes it is.
I prefer to think of it as guerrilla tactics. If he asks where I am, tell him I'm in medical.
What about food though? Aren't we starving? Doing my best to avoid seeing all the all-seeing eye of Chef Antonio, find the empty table and have a seat. I run my fingers on the table and try to think of anything but the food everyone else is eating. Sadly, my stomach has other plans and lets out a large growl.
You filthy traitor.
So far, this has been the funniest line so far in something so simple.
That'll learn it. Show that organ who's boss.
I look up to see Kate take a seat across from me, tray in hand.
Damn right, you've got to keep them in line. Sometimes instead of doing cardio, I just berate my heart for an hour.
What do you mean sometimes? Wouldn't that imply that you do cardio in the first place?
Ooh, bringing out the sass already.
For your information, routinely fleeing colorfully attired walls of muscle is a wonderful fitness routine. It's like Pilates for masochists.
I feel like you don't know what Pilates are.
I don't.
All I know is that they usually involve a gym and yoga pants, and I can't see myself inside either of those things.
Haha.
Technically, you're not wrong, and yet you're definitely not right.
That's the grey area that we like to live in. Kate eyes the empty space in front of me.
Still haven't made peace with the chef, huh?
Nope, this is grade A eternal nemesis level conflict. We're destined to battle until the end of time.
Yeah, well, I don't think that treacherous stomach of yours can last that long. Seriously, just have some of my...
No, we've got the protein bars, right?
Well, gosh, Stan, you didn't tell me you made a new friend.
This'll be interesting. Before Kate has time to react, David has set his tray down on the table and extend a hand in greeting.
It's a real pleasure to meet you, miss. I'm Dave, squad supervisor.
I mean, Kate's gonna understand. I feel like Dave's definitely gonna have fun.
Good to meet you.
Kate extends her hand and receives a firm handshake in turn. Once Dave lets go, she points at the name tag that's still on her uniform.
I'm Kate.
She's the rookie I guided around yesterday. Just happens that we have the same lunch block, so... Wait, are you still wearing that name tag?
Yeah. Is that a problem?
Yes, I guess, because it's suspicious.
No, it's just that I don't think you have to anymore. That was a one-day thing.
I guess not, but I'm still new, so it's easier for people to learn my name this way.
Smart, but it also wouldn't be smarter if that would be... Well, if you were like a hero sort of thing, and you wanted people to learn a fake name.
Yeah, she's just being considerate, Stan. Gosh, you millennials have no manners.
Wait, what?
Dude, you're a millennial, and I'm pretty sure I'm older than you. Oh god, I'm older than you.
Oh god, I'm older than you.
It's this social media. That's what my papa says. Everyone has to clap back or back clap or post little emojis of clapping.
I forgot. Yeah, he did say that Dave was from a farm, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna clap, do it to my face, you cowards. Am I right?
How dare you encourage this?
Encourage what? A blossoming friendship?
Kate, you traitor.
More like an unholy alliance. I think I was safer with Scorpion.
You met Madam Scorpion? When?
Oh yeah, she's not gonna be happy with this.
This morning, Stan had his big review. I made sure he was up extra early to prepare, though, so I'm sure he aced it. Right, buddy?
Still owe you for that, because we were 3 minutes early.
Let's not get carried away. I survived.
well, don't sell yourself short, because that's not always the case. Believe me.
We'll have to take your word for it.
So, now that you've seen her face to face, what do you think?
She's impressive, she's still a mystery. I might be murdered soon.
And I'd better finish off that will I've been putting off writing. Any interest in a TV stand that's actually a cardboard box? Mine might be free soon. You know, after Scorpion murders me.
Yep.
Why? You didn't piss her off, did you?
No, she just gives off this sense of impending dread is all.
That's true.
Even when she's talking about something completely normal, I feel like some horrible act of violence could happen any second.
That is also true, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like Madam Scorpion.
We're just the best at descriptions.
Well, if something like that were to happen, surely you'd have done something to instigate it, Stan. She's our superior now, after all.
I don't feel safe for you, Dave, during your interview, especially since if that's your logic.
What does that have to do with it? Just because she's your pseudo-boss now doesn't mean everything she does is deserved.
Sure it does. If I ever have to punish a member of my squad, it's only because they deserve it. That's just how it is.
That's... Dave, you've suddenly turned scary, somehow.
But that's assuming...
You're right, Dave. No supervillain would ever punish or execute their subordinates without them really deserving it. That's why they're supervillains.
Exactly. Great explanation, Stan. Gosh, I might have to mark that down in your report.
This mentality is not good, and we were just telling Cade not to support this mentality. Cade opens her mouth to argue further, but thinks better of it. Instead, she furrows her brow and stares off into the space for a moment, lost in thought. I'm a little surprised she spoke like that about Scorpion, but then she didn't strike me as having much zealotry. She's a lot more practical about this job than someone like Dave. Probably why we already get along.
Look, just be careful around her. I'm serious about what I said. Not everyone that walks into a room with Madam Scorpion walks back out.
Do they run out? Do they crawl out? Do they fly out?
Why do you say that?
Because it's the truth. At least I think. Look, this is just a rumor, but the word is that before she founded the Scorpion Group, she was basically the apex predator of the assassin world. That's how she got the money for it.
Makes sense. That's definitely what her appeal and/or training looks like.
She doesn't do it anymore, I don't think. I mean, that's the rumor, but you know what they say about old habits.
It's always a rumor she started to spread to make herself look more intimidating, to therefore gain fear that things might happen if she didn't get what she wants, right?
You can't teach them new tricks.
Sure, but mostly they just die hard. And for Scorpion, people die a lot more easily.
That is right, I think. I don't know.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Dave understands, I don't.
My old habits die hard too. And sometimes I think I'm back on the farm. Today in the warehouse, I called the crates hay bales by accident, and this other time I thought someone's pet parakeet was a chicken.
It makes... cool. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for sharing.
So what, you tried to take its eggs or something?
No, my sister collected the eggs. My job was to butcher the ones we ate.
That smile with that sentence. That's... But, you know, now we learned about Dave a bit. Dave has a sibling.
That sounds pleasant. Hey, wait a second!
Oh my god, you didn't!
Well, it looks like we finally solved the mystery of what happened to Lord Birdlum.
It was an accident! It was just old habits, like you said!
Really, Dave?
I think that crosses the line from habit to disorder.
Gotta go camp.
Although, now that I think about it, that's a pretty good example for this situation. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, you're welcome, Kate. Just a little squad supervisor nugget of wisdom for you. I've got loads of them.
That's... okay.
I bet you do.
Yep.
So, basically, Stan, be careful around Madam Scorpion, or you could end up like Lord Birdlum.
Okay.
Delicious?
I mean... Stan, we already are like that. Let's be real.
Dead, Stan. Very dead.
Why not both?
But luckily, the most dangerous thing that you'll encounter tonight are some bad dice rolls, right?
True, though they'll be more dangerous for everyone else since... Wait, does this mean you're playing?
may, if your party has room for a paladin. You said they needed a tank, right?
That is true.
Yeah, that's perfect. Just a normal paladin, though? Anytime someone plays a paladin around here, they're usually a dark paladin instead. Because, you know.
Oh, right. I mean, of course it's a dark paladin. I just figured that was obvious. Wasn't that obvious?
Nope, it wasn't, because you're clearly a superhero.
Neat! You invited Kate to our SNS game too! That's great! It'll be a great chance to do some team building.
I mean, that's true. That is a good, like, optimistic thing to think about. Thank you, Dave.
You're playing too. Stan didn't tell me that. What class are you gonna be?
I think I told him to cleric, right?
I'm a cleric, so I'll be the team's magical doctor supervisor.
Remember, Dave, I said being a cleric is like being a supervisor. I didn't say that being a cleric is being a supervisor.
What's the difference?
Good question.
It's like, what if that stuff on your plate was like food, but wasn't food? Could you still eat it?
Sure, I don't see why not.
Yeah, good response.
Yeah, Stan, why not? If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it's a magical doctor supervisor, isn't it?
Kate, you don't need to stop encouraging him. I shoot Kate a grimace and get a sly grin in return. She knows exactly what she's doing here. The session's going to be a wild ride, I can tell you that. Kate and Dave continue to discuss their plans for tonight session, but I tune out. I've forgotten something important. Ah, crap, the gig. I get so into it, this talk about spells and swords, that I forget all about it.
So, not to change topics or to kill anyone's enthusiasm, but I may have gotten ahead of myself about tonight's session.
What's wrong? Is a dark paladin not villainous enough? Do I need to be a demon paladin or something?
No, there's definitely enough villainy. It's just that something else happened in that review. The thing is, Madame Scorpion asked me to sign up for a Henchman gig. Tonight.
How well are you gonna take it? Stan's gonna be sad. Not Stan, Dave.
Wow, that's great, Stan! As your squad supervisor, I'm proud of the recognition you're getting for your hard work, and the recognition your squad and squad leadership will also get for helping you work so hard.
Sure. Thanks, man.
I looked at Kate. Not sure what reaction I should be expecting. Disappointment, maybe? He rallies much along the lines of the pensive silence and a hint of concern.
Did she say what the job was?
No. There's a few more details in the app. Here.
I pull out my phone, open the Henchman app, and hand it to her. She won't find much more information there, just the general description of the job, the pay, the time, and various ratings of different parts of the job. Things like the general difficulty level, expectations regarding the use of lethal force, civilian presence, and the possibility of superhero intervention, all given it different ratings out of 5 stars. No location is given. Meeting coordinates are sent through a separate encrypted message shortly before the job. If you decide to accept, more information would be nice, but I can't say I'm expecting much more. Kate frowns as she scrolls through the data and hands back my phone.
Seems like a good payday. Could be risky, though. This is an entry level from the looks of it.
That's the idea, I think. It's meant to be some kind of test.
Yay.
That's a tough call. On the one hand, this is Madame Scorpion, and she's not used to being refused. On the other hand, if it's meant to be a test, then it will definitely be dangerous.
Yeah. Well, still, spells and sword, though.
Plus, you'd totally be missing out on our awesome Spells and Swords adventure.
Exactly. And I'd be missing out on my 2 potential friends.
So, if I were you, I'd take some time to think about it. I won't blame you either way, but if you had to decide right now, which one would you pick?
Spells and swords, obviously.
Well, I do love my free time, and I can't say I love danger. So right now, I guess I'm leaning towards game night.
There's that bedlam spirit, Stan! I knew you wouldn't abandon the squad.
Yes.
Thanks, but don't go overboard, alright? It's an imaginary adventure played out with dice and stat sheets, Dave, not a battlefield.
No, I thought these games could get pretty intense.
Well, last campaign we did have a close call with the leader of Soda and some handcrafted dice imported from Latvia. That was a tense moment, let me tell you.
I don't get any joke if this is supposed to be a joke.
It was like our version of the Cuban Missile Crisis, but with less nuclear warheads and more corn syrup.
Uh-huh.
Sounds harrowing. I don't know, you might be safer on Madame Scorpion's wild mystery adventure.
It's true, we might be.
That's true. I haven't decided anything for sure yet, so maybe I'd better think about this some more.
Once again, Stan, copying word for word. Well, not word for
Okay,
word.
okay. I'd be really glad if you could join us for game night. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, but with just a dash of extra humility. Maybe a pinch of praise for my wisdom and empathy.
It's exactly what we needed.
Yeah, well, I'm not a salad bar. You get the toppings that come with the gratitude, no substitutions, and you can forget any notion of begging.
Oh, really? That's a shame.
But really, it'll be nice to hang out. I'm looking forward to it.
Same.
Likewise, I'm still a little worried about Scorpion, though.
Well, yes, that's something we should always be worried about. But with that, I think we should call it there. Hopefully you had fun, because I know I did. And hopefully I can see you on the next one. With that, goodbye.